from the book of Genesis, chapter 1, verse 28. God blessed them and said to them, "Be fruitful and multiply." And God gave them a thumb for swiping. Left to be left in hell. Right as the right pick for tonight. And from a very unorthodox speaker like me, what you can get is a story of how Tinder turned me into an accidental engineer, as I like to define myself. So back in the days, I was pivoting my career in HR, one of the biggest startup accelerator incubator in Italy, and I had to undertake several Python courses. And let's be clear, they were tough. I didn't have any computer science background, so I had to do a lot of heavy working. But actually I was failing, and not once, not twice, but 3 times in a row. And, you know, let's be honest. Python computer science can be hard, but I was very distracted by something that goes under the name of Tinder and dating with girls. So during my learning journey, I figured out that there was nothing more than memorizing some keywords and some command in Python, but the way when you have really to learn something comfortable is applying those knowledge in something that you're really interested into. And back in the days, my interest was pretty much captured by Tinder. And so, randomly, one day, I figured out that you can actually ask your personal Tinder data, and by the way, thanks European Union for the GDPR, and it's very easy. You can do it. You just simply need to reach this link. You click on download my information, and in a couple of days, you're gonna get in the inbox some CSV file, some JSON file containing all your personal Tinder usage data. And so, while I was skimming and scanning through this data, I figured out that there was nothing more but seated on a gold mine of data. There was literally everything that I did in that application since the get-go. And, you know, out of the blue, programming and data analytics wasn't a struggle anymore. Actually, my intellectual interest was captured by those data. And believe me or not, this is one heck of a story because I finally managed to pass my Python exam. So how did I manage to pass my Python exam? So basically, I created a Jupyter notebook out of it, and I have to show you 3 main KPIs. I like to define them the KPIs of desperation. So one day I was really in the mood to waste my time swiping more than 1,000 times in a day. And even though there are 24 hours in a day, actually I managed to open the app 38 times. It's actually twice per hour. And you know, probably now you better figure out why I was failing my Python exams. Second of all, even though Friday is by definition the most socializable day, actually it doesn't apply on dating apps. And it was the day with the lowest number of matches. And this is the epitome of my desperation KPI, because out of 10 profiles swiped right, I had a conversion rate of 20%. This means that only 2 of them were matching me back. So, of course, these KPIs had to be improved. And actually, this was possible through Python and Jupyter. And of course, after this data, I was able to come out with an actionable strategy in order to maximize my Tinder usage. And this is the proof that, you know, as every good story, there is a good ending. But you know, I was still kind of confused because I felt somehow privileged to be in the club of cowboys that goes under the name of programmers. I had some basics of Python programming, data analytics, and machine learning, but I was very confused about my future. And I was thinking about data science, blockchain, back-end programming, or probably even become the chief Tinder officer in some company. But yeah, every day was popping up this idea with this question in my mind. And yeah, 4 years later, in a very random way, I have the lucky chance to find myself within this group of very talented people. As you can probably see, there is me with a smile on my face, and after all the struggle, all the stress, and all the pain that I have to undertake in order to pass those Python exams was suddenly paid back. And while working at Slido as an analytics engineer, I started supporting the sales team. And I was starting interacting with them, and while working, I figured out that there was a trend over and over again. They are facing customer on a daily basis, and while doing so, are creating a set of slides, most likely Google Slides. So what they are doing, they are iterating over and over the same set of templates, duplicating the presentation, finding the placeholder, filling the placeholder in, deleting the old images, and updating the charts. And actually, in this process, they're investing, well, better to say wasting, an insane, crazy amount of time. So let me show you, probably need to drop the mic. I'm gonna raise up my voice for a second. So let me show you very quickly how a sales team member usually prepare this set of slides. So this is a very simplified way. There are roughly 14 slides, but in reality there are more than 30. So you are here, and let's suppose you want to interact with Acme Corp. Sorry. You need to change the color to white. Very cool. You have a date, and it must be filled in with our current date. And again, the color can be red, of course, must be white. Here you can see a few slides about what is Slido, some Slido features, and then again you need to show them some company statistics. So here we go with our beloved Acme Corp. And the color now should be green. Very cool. I'm feeling very stressed right now, honestly, so please bear with me while I'm editing over and over the set of slides. Then also we need to figure out which should be the time granularity. So let's suppose we want to show them data for the last 3 months. And then here you go, you have a set of at least 5 KPIs. Then you need to figure out which is the best and most appropriate license cost per year. Again, over and over KPI. And since we are a data-driven company, some placeholder for graph and charts, until you get to the final proposal. In the final proposal, you have the table basically repeated over and over, and what changed is just the currency. So as you can see here, here we have dollars, and this is pounds. So let's suppose that our client is within the European Union. I just simply need to get rid of this last two. And of course, last but not least, some personal touch. My name is Giulio Piccolo, and this is my Slido email. Awesome. And as always, must be white. So as you can probably see, like, I'm feeling very stressed right now. Let alone a person facing 10, 15, 20 customers on a daily basis and doing business proposal. So from a very unorthodox speaker like me, you can only expect a very unorthodox name. So let me introduce you to the slide of the tiger that can be shortened for Fred into Sliger. And actually, thanks to Midjourney and generative AI for this very cool logo. So I would like to provide you a demo of what Sliger can do. I'm going to drop the mic again. So here we go. First and foremost, I slightly simplified the pitch deck so the generation of the slide will be faster. And this is our brand new pitch deck. You see there are a bunch of very confused strings, some curly brackets that doesn't make any sense. Here there is, an exclamative mark with, again, other curly brackets. So it doesn't make a lot of sense. But it will be in a few seconds. So here you have the slide of the Tiger interface. This is nothing more than a Streamlit-based interface. And here you go with the account UID. Account UID is nothing more than a unique identifier for a customer in our data warehouse. Let's put it simple this way. And then let's enter the company name. Again, it's our Acme Corporation. You can enter the presentation name. It can simply be Slido at Acme Corporation. And then you need to select the currency. Before we said that it is within the European Union, so it's Euro by default. And we click on launch. So hopefully, our proprietary large language model are running in the background, and something will pop up in a bit. All right, so we have something done, and we have a direct link to the presentation. And if we link into it, here we go. You have a presentation powered by Jinja templates. And as you can see here, the first one is Jinja-based, and actually is our current date. The second one is directly generated by Python. So we were able to parse Python function and actually transform them, put them down in plain text. Second of all, we are also able to fill the image placeholder. Right now is a little bit tiny, but with a bit of effort, you can make it bigger. And yeah, so we are also able to fill image placeholder. There's no need to do back and forth for our salespeople from Google Slides to our dashboarding, internal dashboarding system. And actually, everything is more automated and faster out of the blue. So returning back to my main presentation. Let me give you a little bit of context behind this Sliger architecture. It is pretty much powered by Jinja templates, and as I said before, we were able to plug in outbound from Python function directly into Jinja. So you are pretty much able to visualize everything. And the Streamlit interface that I showed you before is nothing but triggering some typer function in the background. So it is something that can be easily run from Streamlit, but also from your CLI if you are not into front-end interfaces. And then this Liger solution, it is modular. It has different plugins. One of these is for the STRF time. There is also a plugin for data warehouse, so we can directly pull data out of our data warehouse. And of course, with those data can be visualized thanks to the screenshotting or the data visualization part of the plugin. So you simply start with some a little bit sketchy Jinja template, and you can move directly into plain text. But how did this idea come to be? And please, be sure to be seated on the chair because this is one heck of a story. So, well, we were in Sweden, and when I say we, I'm specifically mentioning the Slido data team. And once we saw these reindeer, besides being cute, they're actually the main reason why I'm currently presenting on this stage. Because after a few seconds, we ended up like this. And yeah, we were in the middle of the snow in Sweden at 1 a.m., -10, and we had to pull this car out. And while doing the heavy working, actually, Marek, that was also the name of Mr. Schupp, the youngest principal engineer in Cisco, looked at me in my face and said, "Giulio, if we ever manage to get home tonight, I promise you'll make it on stage at PyCon Italia." And when I received the confirmation, I thought I was under hallucination, but because we had too many reindeer blood pancake in our stomach. But actually, it was all true. And yeah. I opened the presentation from the book of Genesis, and then I would like to move to the book of Giulio. Chapter 1, verse 28. Tinder-fueled Python skills can be fruitfully multiply any sales presentation. And guess what? Now you can too. Because our solution is open source. It can be found in GitHub under the pypi release, and you can actually reach the Python package through this QR code at slidoapp.sliger. Pardon, what did I do? Here we go. We have a nice set, so we prepared a very good README. So if you want to run through CLI, it's very easy. I really encourage you to try it out. And this is just some Slido bonus. Me as the one and only Italian within the Slido data team, I highly discourage people to drink, cardboard wine or Tavernello wine, as most likely the vast majority of the audience know. But actually, yesterday they were able to tweak me. This is me specifically, cheering, making a toast with Tavernello wine, and this is my face while I figure out what I was drinking. So, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Giulio Piccolo, but everybody calls me Giorgio.
Well, that was an interesting talk, no? There are very many questions for you, actually. Yeah. Are you ready? Yeah. Okay. So the first one is actually about your sales colleagues. So can your sales colleagues work with Ninja templates and/or commands?
No, actually not. They cannot, and I cannot invest such a huge amount of time in teaching them. I would like to, but I prefer to create, a user-friendly Streamlit interface where they simply need to fill up some field and actually click on the launch button.
All right, this is just the part of the same question. Are they able to create templates themselves?
If with templates, we are specifically mentioning duplicating templates, probably yes, but more in general, they're also able, yeah, for sure, they're also able to come up with some sort of template. But most of the time, all the procedures, all the operations are standardized, and they have to duplicate them and manually type over and over again.
Could the same approach be used not just for the Google Slides, but also Microsoft PowerPoint?
I do think so. This is something that we surely plan for the future. We currently don't have this level of access to Microsoft PowerPoint API since we are part of a Cisco, and their API access is controlled and managed by them. But probably in the future, this is something that we would like to work into.
Okay, now some funny questions. We have time, and you seem you're down to game. Have you published your Tinder analysis anywhere? Could we perhaps learn some more somewhere?
Yeah. So I did back in the days, of course, as a kind of shameless promotion of myself. It is actually, it is not published yet. It is within on a private repo within my GitHub account, and is not accessible right now because I have the credential in my personal laptop. This is my working laptop. But yeah, probably if you're interested, and you can reach me out on LinkedIn or GitHub, and I will be very happy to provide you those data.
All right. Then, what future work do you plan to do with Sliger?
Well, actually, we're pretty sure that it can be somehow connected to different data warehouse sources first and foremost, to make the process way smoother and faster. And also, we are planning and we are investigating different type of interaction with Microsoft PowerPoint online, offline, and yeah, potentially other slide solution.
And now, okay, the questions keep on coming. I have a feeling it's your team behind this, but I'm giving you option not to answer for the next question. Is the speaker still single?
I'm pretty sure they're coming from.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, definitely, yes. As you can see, my Tinder skills are not.
Okay. All right, let me just check the time. If we have time, I'm going to read you all the questions, and we do have time. Unlucky for you. On a scale from 1 to 10, where would you put the wine you drank? The wine you drank.
So actually, there's a video from me yesterday. Actually, there's a video they recorded from me yesterday in which I have a pretty much disgusted face. But since I like to define myself pretty well educated, I drink it without further ado. Yeah, and actually this morning I paid the consequences.
Okay, I'm just going to go for one more question. How long does it take to develop? I'm not sure what I'm assuming.
I mean, if you are distracted by Tinder, you can expect yourself that it takes several years, like me. But I do believe it's just a matter, of doubling down, as Americans say, is nothing but managing frustration. A lot of frustration. Coding is not fun. I mean, at least for me, it's not funny. It wasn't funny back in the days. Somehow it is more funny now, but I'm still struggling, and I manage to set myself and managing my frustration. So it's, how can I say, I like to define it masochism, but it's, as far as you manage to do it, keep going.